group of Independent Media and Policy Initiative (IMPI) has risen in the defense of the present administration of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by putting large socio-economic issues in the context and call on state governors, local government administrators to utilize the financial opportunity presented by supporting federal government activities. Addressing pressmen in Abuja, Chief Niyi Akinsuji disclosed that various policies of present government have started yielding results. Here are details from him.
The increase in inflation rate may have been aggravated by the depreciation of the Nigerian currency on the back of the harmonization of the foreign exchange windows and the removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government. The twin policies that now define the structural reformation of the Nigerian economy. Without a doubt, the aggregate impact on the cost of goods and services truly reflects a disruption in the quality of life of the average Nigerian. We are, however, not unmindful of the President's admonition at different times to the generality of Nigerians on the possible consequential impact of the reforms. We share in the President's standpoint on this matter. No reform of the magnitude being undertaken can succeed without some forms of pains. It is gratifying to note, however, that the policies have begun to show initial capacity to redress the challenges they were conceived to address. In this regard, we note the impressive reduction in the national debt profile, which had fallen in dollar terms from $108 billion to $91 billion. What is obvious is that the wasteful regime of fuel subsidy contributed in no small measure to this huge debt accumulated over the years. Remarkably, the government accompanied this feat under a 14-month period. Interestingly, the impressive reduction in national debt profile now reflects in the hitherto worrisome debt service to revenue ratio, which has now dropped from 97% in the first half of 2023 to 68% in the first half of 2024. This is in addition to the 7.3 trillion ways and means obligation paid back to the Central Bank of Nigeria by the federal government within a year of the administration, even as the budget deficit has fallen from 6.1% to 4.4% currently. This is a clear indication of strategic fiscal management. The healthy fiscal environment apparently helped by the increase in the quantum of crude oil production, which has increased from 1.28 million barrels per day in April 2024 to 1.61 million barrels per day as of July 2024, the first time in 42 months. Connected to this is a vast improvement in the balance of the nation's foreign reserve, which increased from 32.29 billion in April 2024 to 37.05 billion in July 18, 2024. On July 18, 2024, remarkably, between June 30 and July 18, the external reserve rose from 34.70 billion to $37.05 billion, indicating an increase of $2.35 billion in about 18 days. This foreign reserve balance covers 11 months imports. It is another indication of a stabilizing economy. In other sectors of the economy, beginning with power, we are encouraged by the quantum leap in power generation and transmission. The sector recorded a number of interventions through policies and actions by the federal government. It was a remarkable feat when 700 megawatts of electricity power were added to the national grid with the commissioning of the Zungeru hydroelectric power station in Niger State. In addition, the power sector also recorded the commissioning of 2 substations in Kebbi and Ajah in Lagos State to consolidate the nation's electricity distribution capacity. This has led to a considerable increase in power supply across the country. We also commend the President for the payment of the historical 3.3 trillion naira debt owed to the power sector, which for years crippled the nation's capacity to generate, transmit, and distribute the required electricity, and unfortunately subjected the populace to the agony of endless power outages. We are aware of the federal government policy to democratize ownership and operation of the power sector to private entrepreneurs under the regulation of subnational governments. We are very optimistic that the national electric power supply will be further enhanced if the current initiative to transfer ownership and management of power assets to private activities, to private entities, succeed under the regulatory supervision of the states. We have observed an evolving paradigm in the nation's economic template. The recent announcement of employment opportunity for 30,000 fellows that have graduated from cohort 1 of the ongoing 3 million technical talents program under the Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Communication. This is indicative of an economy that is producing digital talents for both domestic and global engagements. Meanwhile, it is on record that the federal government has distributed 60.452 metric tons of improved seeds, 887.255 metric tons of seedling, 138 value kits, 501,726 liters of agrochemical, 62.328.5 metric tons of inorganic fertilizers, 1,000 kilograms of fungicide, and 33,200 equipment to farmers across different value chains to enhance agricultural production. This flurry of President Tinubu's intervention in the agricultural sector has, at the last count, successfully generated a total of 309 billion into the Nigerian economy in 1 year, suggesting the resurrection of exporting activities in the agricultural sector. On aggregate, the recent waiver of import duties and tax on food importation will make food abundantly available and affordable locally. Grounded on this projection is also the $20 billion foreign investment commitments the federal government had secured to revolutionize the agricultural sector in the bid to ensure food security in the country and to reinvent Nigeria's pride of place as the agricultural giants of Africa. Besides, the creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development may have opened a new vista in the concerted effort to advance agriculture. This initiative reveals the true intention of the President to harness Nigeria's huge livestock potentials and to find a lasting solution to the incessant farmer-adults clash in the country, as well as reinforce the value chain that will create more employment opportunities in that sector. We are, however, compelled by prevailing circumstances to register our displeasure over the inability of the subnationals to complement the efforts of the federal government in boosting agriculture. We therefore call on state governors and local government administrators to utilize the financial opportunity presented by the tremendous increase in their various allocations from FARC to support the exemplary efforts of the federal government towards massive food production. On transportation, the reopening of the Lagos-Kano railway line is considered another milestone in the effort by the federal government to prosper the national economy. This is best appreciated within the context of the contribution of the Lagos-Kano railway line to the historical, economic, social, political, and cultural development of Nigeria. The facilitator of social and cultural integration between and among various ethnic groups along the Lagos-Kano railway route was legendary and also contributed immensely to the cementing of national unity. We commend the President for these landmark achievements. In the education sector, the establishment of Nigerian Education Loan Fund may indeed be the game changer to facilitate access to education. Impressively, within a short period of its establishment, applicants have started receiving credits for school fees and upkeep. This is revolutionary, and all Nigerians must applaud this. Gentlemen of the press, let us not forget that the federal government only a few days ago opened the portal for a reinvigorated National Youth Investment Fund to be administered by the Ministry of Youth Development. It was a 75 billion naira funding initiative for young business owners, which former President Muhammadu Buhari introduced in 2020, but the Tinubu administration has now expanded it by about 50% to 110 billion naira in order to accommodate more beneficiaries among the youth.
From Abuja, I'm Bemiga Olamikon, reporting for GTV Africa.